Rain, 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 rain.
They've not just had rainy, wet, dark, cold days, but the fact that so immediately the sun is shining through and everything is glistening because of the sunshine.
For the first time in my life, I found a purpose.
Her entire being is selfless. At what point does becoming selfless, that virtue, become a vice and you don't have a life for yourself?
The more I pray for sunshine, the more my body fades away.
All of us, as we grow older, have to leave behind some of the carefreeness of our youth. How much can we reasonably expect another person to give for our benefit?
She was 100% a real-life sunshine girl.
It's such a blessing to be alive.
Hello and welcome to Cinema Therapy. I'm Alan Seawright, a professional filmmaker who needs therapy. I'm joined by this guy.
Jonathan Decker, licensed therapist who loves movies. Arigato.
Okay, cat's out of the bag.
Not cool, meow.
But thanks to you, we have now watched the entire, I don't know what the trilogy is called, but it's like an unofficial Makoto Shinkai trilogy of Your Name, Suzume, and now Weathering with You.
Yeah.
And this movie was weird.
It was weird. Weird and delightful, as the entire trilogy is.
Yeah, look, they're great. I freaking love these movies. Makoto Shinkai is... I love the man. I want to meet him and then just follow him around for a couple of months until he gets sick of me.
So this movie is about a young woman who is essentially, she controls the weather with her prayers.
She's a sunshine girl.
She's
a real sunshine girl.
And then she meets a young man who introduces her to capitalism. How can you use this talent to make some money?
And it all goes great, guys. So we start the movie following Hodaka around for the most part.
Supposed to hire you. This job some kind of joke to you?
As you can see, sudden downpour.
This 16-year-old kid who ran away and moved to Tokyo.
But I also love how we all...
Ed reads Catcher in the Rye because he's a 16-year-old boy.
And we don't know a lot about where he came from or why he's here or why he ran away yet, which I really dig.
Like this.
Yeah, that air of mystery of like, why is this kid doing this is fantastic. And as per usual with Makoto Shinkai, like,
sit here. You'll have to
the
move.
backgrounds are all realistic but beautiful. And the use of light and lens flare is incredible.
So the beginning of this movie weirdly reminds me of the beginning of Paddington. Like, he's wandering around, he's lost, they're not letting him stay anywhere. He just needs to go home with the Brown family and be loved.
Hey, come back here!
Unfortunately, not in the cards for him.
I would watch the hell out of a movie with Hodaka and a talking bear, though. I just wanted to talk about this because, like, it captures so well in this montage that feeling of being new in a city and, like, scared. When you came to college.
Yeah, I think we can all relate to that sense of, I left for a reason. I needed to go. But out of the frying pan into the fire, this is new, this is scary, and I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do. And what's really sad to me is when he arrives at the beginning of the montage, he's hopeful and optimistic, but he's like, I can do this, I can manage, I'm scared, but I'll figure it out. And then like 2 days later, he's like, I'm out of money and I'm on the streets. And I love the rain being symbolic of just how sad it is and how scary it is and how hopeless it feels.
This is really, really, really well done.
Well, and he's disoriented and so are we.
Yep. You know what might have helped Hodaka when he left and moved to Tokyo?
Probably a lot of things. He didn't take much with him.
Really, there were a lot of things. But really, it's an eSIM app like Saily. Then he could have internet with him wherever he goes.
Even in the weird sky heaven where he goes to find Hina.
I mean, probably. Saily works in over 200 places around the world.
And since Hodaka wasn't making a lot of money working for Suga, he would have loved Saily's affordable prices.
You can reduce or even eliminate roaming fees.
Saily is a digital SIM card that helps you stay connected when you're traveling.
No swapping SIM cards in and out of your phone, just download the app,
pick a data plan,
install it on your phone,
and you're all set.
Easier than stopping the rain for a sunshine girl.
If you're planning to visit multiple countries while you're traveling, you can pick a regional or global plan that will work for your entire trip.
Saily's security features can also help protect your privacy online while you're traveling.
They have 24/7 chat support.
And if your device isn't eSIM compatible, you can get a full refund.
Get an exclusive 15% discount on Saily data plans.
Use code CinemaTherapy at checkout.
Download Saily app or go to saily.com/cinematherapy.
Saily. It's like a boat for the internet.
so cool.
So well done.
Watch. It's gonna clear up.
I will say, of the three in the trilogy, this one, the story for me wasn't
Hey,
quite as strong as
what
the
do you
other
mean
two.
by-
Still enjoyed it. But man, if the animation isn't majestic.
Yeah.
Like, not just the light, but the rain falling while the grass blows upward.
What?
Just the whole, like, the shot concepts and design are so brilliant. And then obviously the animators
And you?
are great.
Hodaka.
How old?
16?
You're younger than me.
Huh?
I'll be 18 in approximately a month.
You look younger.
Not true.
So you should treat me with respect. Nice to meet you, Hodaka.
So why do you think Hina lies about her age here?
That's what I was going to ask you. Like, what is
Oh.
the psychological impetus for that? I mean, it's obviously, like, she's alone, basically raising her little brother. She needs to feel like she's in control, right?
Yeah, well, and there's some adult themes here, which is when he finds her, they're trying to recruit her as a sex worker.
Right.
And she's on the verge of going for it because she doesn't want to starve.
Yeah, she doesn't have any other options.
And so the story of being 18 is allowing her to get a foot into that world. But why does she maintain it with him? I think it's all in the line, so you should treat me with respect. I think she's used to people not treating her with respect. And she's this pure soul. And by pure soul, I mean she's just loving and giving and kind and considerate and just decent. And people like that, unfortunately, are an easy mark for wolves.
They get walked on a lot.
Yeah. And so I think her saying I'm 18 is a way of asserting, like, you may be a 16-year-old male, I'm an 18-year-old female, treat me with respect. It might be don't go falling in love with me.
It might be that. It might also just be, frankly, she's a 15-year-old.
Who understands why?
A, who can understand why, but B, like, from 10 until right around 17, 18, there's just this, like, insane obsession with what age is and what it means.
16, 17, 18, there's no difference.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
there
right.
is.
I think she's just trying to, like, skip ahead on a bunch of that and just be done with childish things. I'm a grown-up now, I'm raising my brother, I'm cool, and I can control the weather with my prayers.
We have summoned the Sunshine Boy.
He is a sunshine boy.
Could this possibly be the first time I'm visiting
I love this shot.
a girl's home?
Welcome to my place. Was it hard to find?
I just stopped to, it's not much here.
It looks
That
like a
was very sweet
soggy
of you.
diaper. Is this the first time I go into a girl's home? Is that what he
Sure
said? So relatable,
Have
though.
you had lunch yet?
No, not yet. But you don't have to.
You just sit right there. Hey, mind if I use these?
Yeah, no, sure.
Thanks.
Like, now you hold hands with your partner, and it's like, it's comfortable and it's nice and it's fine. When you're a teenager, the first time you hold hands with somebody, it's like electric.
It is like getting electrocuted.
So, do you live all by yourself here, Hina?
And your hands start
With my younger
sweating out
brother,
of nervousness.
Due to some circumstances.
Circumstances?
How about you? Why did you run away?
Truth is, everything was suffocating. That town, my parents.
I see.
Another reason to lie about her age. She's technically a minor raising her younger brother.
You should go back, don't you think?
They would separate them,
No, I don't want to.
take them away.
Put them
See.
into the
System, yeah.
Here you go. Lunch is served.
Honestly, that looks really good.
Oh, I forgot the spring onions. Where'd I put them? So, how do you feel now, living in Tokyo?
I don't feel like I'm suffocating anymore.
Well, that's great, right? Bon
Bon
appetit.
appetit.
He's so nervous about everything. So relatable. Not just, you know, the animation performance, but there's a lot in the shot design as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like overhead shots looking down to kind of make him feel a little small. And it also puts you in the geography of the room, which is, it's this small apartment. It just feels so real and lived in a way that you don't often get in any film, much less animation. It puts you in such a real state of being for this dumb kid. And this other dumb kid who's pretending to be a less dumb kid.
And even though the film isn't hinting yet at how tragic this is, we are getting a glimpse into something about Hina, which is that she looks after others and is responsible for others at the expense and cost of herself. So right now, it just plays like, oh, she's just being hospitable and feeding him and looking after him. But it's really indicative of something much larger about her. As a Sunshine Girl, her role is to bless others with her prayers and ultimately to die for them. That is the mythology that the Sunshine Girl does throughout the generations. She is going to die to control the weather, to prevent floods, to prevent natural disasters. And she's essentially a sacrificial lamb to the gods.
Right.
And the fact that she was on the verge of being trafficked to look out for her little brother, the fact that now she's brought Hodaka into her home and is looking after him just speaks to her entire being is selfless, which is a beautiful thing until it goes too far. At what point does becoming selfless, that virtue, become a vice, and you don't have a life for yourself? You don't have dreams or ambitions for yourself. You don't have experiences for yourself. Everything is for others. And that's one of the main themes of the movie.
Yeah.
It was like the whole city was putting its best foot forward.
But it's been raining for months and months and months.
Wonderful world I was born into.
Here we go.
But she can clear the weather up for sporting events or weddings. Like, people pay her to clear the weather up for the things they want to do.
For their cosplay photo shoots.
Thanks a lot. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much.
It's amazing how a simple thing like the weather can affect our moods. That was when I realized for the first time just how much the human heart is connected to the sky.
Again, the fact that he helps her monetize it. In the movie, it's a beautiful thing. Honestly, there is nothing wrong with making an honest living with what you're good at and helping other people. Like, all of this is beautiful.
That's what you and I both do.
That's what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
But what Hodaka doesn't know, because Hina hasn't told him, is that it's killing her.
Right.
There's an undercurrent in this film of the line between selflessness and exploitation, right?
Sure.
Or working with somebody and taking advantage of them. How much can we reasonably expect another person to give for our benefit? That's what's being asked underneath the surface of what so far is just this fun, superpowered rom-com.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. It's such an interesting philosophical discussion, right? Like, we're both Americans. Americans, like, American culture is hyper individualistic.
Right.
Japanese people tend to be on the opposite end of that spectrum.
Right.
Like, super community focused. Americans hyper individualistic. And this is such an interesting exploration of what is the limit of that,
Yeah.
right? Like, how much should you be focused on the community versus your own happiness?
Yeah.
What role does age play in that? Like, are these kids Romeo and Juliet and this is a cautionary tale
Right.
of young stupid love, or is it a beautiful tale of young wonderful love? Like,
Yeah.
it's such an interest, and there's no answers. I love it.
Although we would like to know your answers if you've seen Weathering with You.
This is fascinating, and I want to talk to you as a therapist. If you ever worked with anybody who was like really affected by like seasonal affective disorder.
Sure.
But like, one of the things that I find so interesting is this trilogy of films that Makoto Shinkai made is dealing with, natural disasters, the fact that earthquakes happen all the time in Japan. Like, there's a whole movie about like, we just can't, like, Japan is a monster that tries to eat us sometimes.
Yeah.
And then this one's literally just like, it's rainy here.
Rain. 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 Rain.
And how do I emotionally cope with that? I'll make a movie about it. Like,
And it's true. I mean, the fact of sunlight and vitamin D and how it affects us, how it's easier to feel happy, it's easier to feel less stressed. And then also just the psychological component of contrast, because they've not just had rainy, wet, dark, cold days, but the fact that so immediately the sun is shining through, so immediately the clouds are parting and everything is glistening. The psychology of sunshine, right? It's not just psychology, it's physiology.
yes.
That when we experience the rays and the vitamin D and the light, we just feel more hopeful. And I love the notion of he'd never noticed what a beautiful world it is,
Right.
and how grand it is to be alive. And
Part of that's also just falling in love with a pretty girl.
Yeah, that's true. Metaphorically as well, though, we talk about our dark and cloudy, stormy days, right?
Sure.
This is depression, this is hardship. That sooner or later, for a lot of us, those clear up.
Yeah.
I think that I'm in love. This job, the Sunshine Girl. It's like, for the first time in my life, I found a purpose. And you know what?
Perfect
That's
bit of
not
performance.
such a bad thing.
Wait, how many knots is it bad or not?
Lighten up a little. And so, thank you, Hodaka.
Weather is such a mystery. Seeing a beautiful sky can really make you feel things. Just like Hina. She really makes me feel things.
I do think it's beautiful when Hina says, I think I'm in love, and he goes,
So quick, too. He's just on it. Like, really?
with this job. But just how fulfilled she is. She's been living so long just to survive.
Right.
And then to help her younger brother survive, that to do something that not only puts food on the table, but in and of itself is rewarding.
Yeah.
And here's my little soapbox moment, folks. Whatever you're passionate about, you can probably make a living doing it. But you're going to have to pay your dues to get there. You're going to have to work your ass off. And you're probably going to have to do some jobs that you would rather not do as you're building that up.
Right.
And I don't want to like paint some pie in the sky. You can just do whatever you dream if you want it bad enough. The fact is, a lot of us end up doing stuff that we're just okay with, right? And sometimes you do what you're passionate about on the side. But whether it's making a living or not, chase what fulfills you.
Yeah.
She's got a talent, and people, it helps them and it makes them happy, and she finds that fulfilling.
And listen, purpose, passion also doesn't have to be your job.
Yeah.
It's okay to just have a job.
Yeah, for sure.
It's better to try to find passion and purpose within that job, even if it's just a job. Like, find the thing you can get passionate about
Yeah.
so that you don't hate going to work every day. And if you do just hate going to work every day, maybe it's time to start looking for something else. But again, it doesn't have to be the one true love is your job.
Yeah.
You know, find something that you can love. Settle is what I'm saying. But not in your life. Find purpose and passion in your life, even if it's not everything about your job.
Yeah. And the real answer to, well, what is that? It's whatever is in here that you want.
Yeah.
And people are like, who should I be? What should I do? It's like, well, what do you want to do? You know, and what she wants to do is use this talent to bring clear skies to people.
What is something that you want to do, that you enjoy doing, that makes life better, not just for yourself, but for everyone around you?
Hodaka, so, I
Feel feelings, but also...
She is one with the Force. She literally just Obi-Wan'd out of that raincoat.
Where are you, Hina?
Except... Did she?
No, she didn't. I'm just saying that's how it plays.
Holy crap, I love this movie. And then revealing that she's semi-transparent by having the streetlights turn on? Come on!
I think I know when I became a Sunshine Girl.
What I love about that is she's flying. This is the movie revealing that she is not a god, but basically a demigod.
Right.
Her response to that is human fear.
Sure.
Not this is cool, not aren't I glorious and badass, but what is happening, you know?
Well, she's a normal 15-year-old girl. I mean, if you could suddenly float and were turning semi-transparent, most of us think we would act like superheroes, and most of us would be scared.
Mm-hmm. And I love that rushing shot of the camera as like the power just kind of overtakes her. She's having this moment of peace and joy with a boy that she's kind of into, and he's super into her. And the responsibility and reality of her adulthood is just rushing at her and saying, sorry, this moment isn't meant to last.
Yeah.
Because you've got bigger things to worry about. And, you know, none of us are sunshine people who are going to give our lives to stop the floods. But all of us, as we grow older, have to leave behind some of the carefreeness of our youth. Unless you never had a carefree youth, in which case I'm very sorry.
Right.
But I know I definitely long for sometimes... I'm happier and I feel a more profound sense of joy, but my joy is mixed in with loss and grief and hurt and all of the trauma and garbage and heartache that I've been through in my life. And in her case, there's definitely been trauma there, but she's, for the first time, having what her little brother wants for her. She's having a teenage experience. She's falling in love and having a good time.
Yeah. And
it's going to get ripped away from her. And that's something we can all relate to, is longing for just that little moment, you know, when it was just like, it was okay.
And that is something that Makoto Shinkai does as well or better than any other filmmaker I've ever seen, is capturing that feeling of young, innocent love.
Yeah.
Where it's like, this is first love and how powerful and overwhelming and wonderful it is, and not looking down on it.
Yeah.
I love this man's movies.
Can I ask you something? Would you like the rain to stop?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm a human sacrifice, they say.
Huh?
Natsumi was the one who told me about the Sunshine Girl's fate. If the maiden gets sacrificed, then her body disappears. But after that, the weather goes back to normal.
Come on now. You can't believe the stuff in those weird legends. I mean, people don't disappear.
Sorry.
The more I pray for sunshine, the more my body fades away. But if I end up dying from this, then we'll finally get our summers back. Take care of Nagi for me.
No! I won't! Because you're not going anywhere. We're all gonna live together.
Hodaka.
Hina, let's make a promise to each other. To always be together. I'll get a job. I'll take care of us. You don't have to be a sunshine girl anymore. Your body will go back to normal. And then...
Man, this is just such good writing. Hodaka this whole time has been looking for what is his family, right? He's trying to make a new life for himself. He doesn't like the life that he had. And he finally gets what he wants. He's got this girl that he's in love with. Her little brother's really cool. We can be together. And he says this prayer that's like, don't let anything change.
Yeah.
And it's such a heartbreaking moment because it is so relatable and such a kid thing. Because the only constant is change.
Yeah.
Nothing ever stays the same. And so to have him finally happy, and we've seen this kid go through so much and work so hard and struggle and fail, and he finally has what he wants and what it feels like he deserves.
Yeah. Because I definitely know the feeling of, like, I have clothes on my back, a bed to sleep in, food in the fridge, the lights are on. Literally anything else is a bonus. I have everything I need. Yeah. And how special that is to him. And I think it's because also that he recognizes what you're saying, that the only constant is change, that he fears that. He knows this could be taken away in an instant. And this is one of the reasons why, as hard as life is and as brutal as change can be, it's so important to be grateful when things are good, or be grateful even when things aren't good for what you have.
Right.
It reminds me of that line Ed Helms says in The Office.
I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them.
It's such a blessing to be alive. And that's another one of the subtexts of this film for me is Hina learns in the course of this film that she is to be sacrificed to stop the rain and the flooding.
Right.
And so she savors every moment. And this montage that we see of them eating and doing karaoke, this is bittersweet for her because she knows it's coming to an end. This begs the question, when is self-interest selfish and when is it a virtue?
Right.
Because everyone expects her, even Mr. Suga, at one point very brutally says, I wish she would just die already so the rain would stop.
If you could fix this crazy weather with one human sacrifice, I'd be fine with it.
The film asks the question, it's noble. We all see it as noble when someone gives their life voluntarily to save others. Or, in a less literal sense, gives their life without dying, but just gives every day for someone that they care about.
Yeah.
But is it noble if it's taken? Is it noble if it's expected? I would say no, even though the results are kind of catastrophic here. Because, spoiler alert, she ends up choosing the path that he just offered to her.
Well, and we're about to see some of that.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. Okay, so he
Used to be under the sea.
made it to heaven,
Got her back.
It's crazy.
went
Always
back
has
home,
been, always will be.
finished high school.
She has life. But because he
That
brought her
means-
back,
It's no one's fault that it's like this
Yeah.
now. Is this what I should say to her?
Tokyo's like half underwater.
It rained for 3 years straight.
I'm sure hundreds, maybe thousands died. Millions were displaced.
世界が君の小さな肩に乗っているのが僕
This is beautiful.
だけは見えて泣き出しそうで
And so the film, like, asks some tough philosophical questions and ethical questions.
No! They're wrong! That day No! We changed the world! I made a choice! I chose her! I chose this world! And I choose to live in it! Hina!
I love, and I mean this as a compliment, how dramatic anime is. Like,
Yep.
the way the wind blows her hoodie off and, like...
The giant tears.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm fine. You know what, Hina? We're gonna be alright.
世界が君
So the questions are like, do we have the right to expect somebody else to save us at the cost of themselves?
Right.
Because on the one hand, you could look at this and say, well, how selfish of her. Tokyo's now underwater. How selfish of him that he brought her back. And great, we're happy that you're in love, but there are people who are homeless now, right? You can look at it that
is
way.
this Romeo and Juliet situation where it's like, congratulations, you dumbass teenagers. Your wonderful love that no one has ever experienced, every fucking person has, doomed an entire city of 30 million people.
So that's the cynical side. The other side is when the woman talks about what Tokyo is now used to be submerged, and so it's just a return to the natural order of things. There's a commentary on, climate change or the weather, like that all she was doing was holding back the consequences of her own choices.
Right.
And by choosing herself and choosing a life for herself and choosing love, she was also just letting the chips fall where they were for what we did.
Right.
Right? And so the film doesn't offer easy answers, and all of our cynical jabbing and joking aside, like it really is beautiful, and it doesn't tell you what to think. It just raises the questions.
Yeah. There's definitely something to be said for, I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions, and I'm going to give you partial answers to some of them. And that's a totally valid artistic take if it's done well.
Yeah.
And this is done excellently. I think I agree with you that this is my least favorite of the sort of Makoto Shinkai trilogy.
Yeah.
Which is like saying it's my least favorite cake. It's still f***ing cake, man.
What we want to know from all of you is, did Hodaka and Hina do the right thing? Should they have followed their hearts, their own self-interest, and chosen this life for each other and themselves? Or should they have saved the city from flooding? Let us know in the comments below. Well, that reminds me of a question brought up on The Good Place of what do we owe each other?
Oh yeah, Chidi's thesis. And
We've got some Good Place goodness right here.
I do also really love emotionally where Hodaka gets to, where he has decided what's in the past is past, the choices I've made are the choices I've made, all I can do is move forward and live with the choices that I've made.
Yeah.
And find joy and love in that.
Yeah.
And that's all any of us can do. You have probably made some choice that drowned your own personal Tokyo. This is getting stretched a little bit. But it happened, and now the choice you have to make is what to do going forward. So until next time,
I think I'm in love with this job.
And watch movies. This episode is brought to you by our patrons. They get stuff like an extended director's cut of this with some extra scenes. People that are named, they have names like this one.
Natalie, man, we got there. Natalie Carr.
Kendall Childs.
Brent Reed.
Ranger of Flame.
And Sarah.
Sarah.
Thank you, patrons.